Welcome again to Dan's Garage. Today we are doing neuro exam, and I am treating just like last week. Would you like to introduce yourself again?
I'm Izzy, his daughter.
Perfect. And we're going to start with sensory and cortical functions. For these, we want to test multiple levels. I'm going to test the levels that I would most commonly do clinically. I'm going to start with superficial touch. So I've washed my hands and they're clean. And I'm going to start by doing a light touch over the forehead. Is that the same or different on both sides?
Same.
Same. And then the chin?
Same.
Good. I'm going to go here on the arms.
Same.
I'm going to go outer arm,
Still the same.
inner arm, and then I'm going to have you put your hands out like this for me. I'm going to have you go ahead and close your eyes and tell me if it feels the same or different. So I'm going to do a light touch on this side of the thumb, which is C6, and then the middle finger,
Same.
which is C7, and then the outside of the fifth finger,
Still the same.
which is C8. From here, we would go ahead and test the abdomen. So I'm going to go here and here. Same. Now I'm going to go on the tops of the thighs. Outside, inside. Tell me if any of these are different. Outside of the foot, inside of the foot. I'm going to tickle her small toe. Are those all the same?
Yeah.
Okay, so at this point, we would assume with most normal healthy patients, as Izzy is, that all her sensation is intact. But we're going to go ahead and go through the other types of sensory functions that we would test as part of a complete neuro exam. And the next thing that you would test would be sharp and dull sensation. And clinically speaking, I've used a pin before. This is a little clothespin for sharp and dull sensation. And I'm going to be really gentle with my daughter, especially because I have to live with her. But I'm going to have her, does that feel sharp?
Ish, not
Sharpish,
really.
okay, because I was gentle compared to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so use that point. Sharp, dull. Tell me if you don't feel sharp or dull with either of these. Okay, tell me if there's any differences. I'm going to get a little higher pressure here. Sharp, dull. Okay, just let me know if those don't feel sharp. Sharp, 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 dull, 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 dull. And I'm moving from one side to the other so that they can compare. Now go ahead and put your hands out like this. Once again, I'll have you close your eyes. Sharp, sharp, dull, dull, sharp, sharp, dull, dull, sharp, sharp, dull. Are those all?
They all felt the same.
Great. So I'm just going to go through and do the other dermatomes that we did before. Okay. Go dull, 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 dull. Okay. So the next one that we are going to do is we're going to do cold and hot. And for this, you could use a reflex hammer, or you could use a tuning fork. The tuning fork actually has a metal on it that's pretty conducive to temperature. I have ice water here, so I'm going to get that in ice water. Let's go ahead and use the reflex hammer and put it in hot water, right there. And so now we're going to test her sensory to cold water. I'm going to do the same dermatomes. Does that feel cold? Cold there. Okay, and the arms. Okay, we're going to go outside the arms, inside, same spots, hands out for me. Does that feel cold?
Yep.
Okay, here?
Yeah.
Okay,
All
cold.
cold.
Outside, these are all cold. And we'll just do a general foot here. And the other spot we generally want to check is the abdomen. So we'll just go up against that. Does that feel cold? And cold. Okay. Now we're going to do the hot water. Feel warm?
Yeah.
Warm, 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 warm. And we'll do abdomen over here. Warm and that, we're going to do vibration, and we're going to use the correct tuning fork with the right tongs for the right frequency to sense vibration. I always tend to bang this on my knee. Doesn't tend to hurt me there, and we're going to test. I'm going to test over the metacarpal of the thumb. Do you feel vibration there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tell me when it starts to slow down.
It starts slowing down.
Okay, so I'm going to hit it with the same frequency that I did before. Okay, over the same thumb. Over the same thumb joint, the metacarpal there. And tell me when it begins to slow down. The buzzing.
Yeah.
About now, it's about equal. It's what I would expect. We're going to do the same thing on her foot. And I'm going to go right over here, over the big MTP joint. Tell me when that starts to slow down the vibration.
Right now.
Okay.
A little bit earlier than that,
A little bit earlier. So I hit it with about the same strength and go here. Tell me when it slows down.
now.
Okay. Did that feel about equal?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, so the last sensory function that we would do is having you put your hands out like this and go ahead and close your eyes for me. Is which direction am I moving this finger?
Up.
Good. Which direction am I moving this finger?
Down.
Okay. How about this toe?
Up.
Okay. And this toe?
Down. Sideways.
Good. This finger?
Sideways.
Okay. Good. So that would be the position of the joints. So those are all the different types of sensory functions that we would test in the nervous system. We're now going to do the cortical sensory functions, and those involve stereogenesis, which means, go ahead and close your eyes. I'm going to put a common object in her hand, and she's going to tell me what it is. So just hold your hand out for me. Kind of.
Coin.
Okay, good. Hold your other hand out. Okay.
Key.
Excellent. All right. The next test we're going to do is what's called two-point discrimination. Once again, these cortical tests are to test the posterior columns for some of these sensory tracts in the ascending tracts of the spinal cord. So in order to determine two-point discrimination, on a finger it is normal to have anywhere from 2 to 8 millimeters. So I'm going to actually shrink that down to less than 2 millimeters. I'm going to have you put your hands out again like we've done so far. Go ahead and close your eyes. I'm going to pick her middle finger here. And I'm just going to say, how many points do you feel?
2.
2. So she's already at 2 centimeters there. Here.
Still 2.
Still 2. So now on the forearm, there's less two-point discrimination. So I'm just going to start with that same distance. How many points do you feel there?
2.
2. She's got good sensation.
1.
1. Okay.
2. 1.
Okay. That's normal to feel less on there. The other places you can check for two-point discrimination are on the back, where it's normal to feel anywhere less than 40 millimeters as 1 point. The last test here is go ahead and give me your palm, and I can draw letters or numbers. What did I just draw on there?
A.
Good.
D.
Good. Or I can draw a number. Don't look.
8.
Don't look.
7.
Perfect. So the last thing that you can do to test their cortical sensory functions is to point somewhere on them, then have them point to where you pointed, so you would also have them close their eyes for this. Go ahead and close your eyes. Good. Good. So Izzy has intact sensory functions throughout her body.